the last thing I wanted to pivot to was location number 2. So by the time you all hear this part of this discussion, we're still in the works of like getting it all set up. But by the time that you guys hear this or hearing this episode, it's going to be a done deal, right? Which is probably about 4 weeks from when we're actually recording this. So let's talk about location 2 real quick, man. So I kind of asked you to like think about questions you wanted to ask me, but like I had some questions just off the bat for you. Like, I don't know, are we crazy or are we doing, what do you think?
No, I don't think we're crazy. I think it's an amazing opportunity because I moved from New Jersey for this opportunity, and now it's like, okay, we're spreading kind of the love to get some other coaches on board, help more people. This is the entire reason that I moved here. This is the entire reason I'm in this industry, is to help people. And like now that we can like double that, I'm all on board for it.
Just out of curiosity, and I know you didn't prep for this, so this is kind of like, you know, I don't expect like an Academy Award winning answer here. Right? Like, from my experience, it's hard to do multiple locations. Like, not too many fitness concepts, gyms, independent gyms, let alone like what we do, have the opportunity to do this. What do you think is unique about what we do? Why do you think we're able to enter maybe a different market and make a different type of impact in people's lives compared to what else is out there and what else they have access to right now? What kind of comes to mind? Why us?
I think we have shown that the model works, especially when we do our team retreats. We've shown that the model works to all of our staff. There's an incredible buy-in from our staff. That's not like, okay, we're going to kind of try this out for a little bit and see if it works. It's like, no, it works. So just having everybody on board is foundationally important. If that is not there, then this wouldn't work. But we have a very strong coaching staff right now. The programming is exactly what we want it to be, I think. And now that we've expanded the semi-private programming to like have more variety as well, like we were talking about earlier, I think we're in a very successful place for that to be a thriving market in that second gym.
What are we doing that's different than what else is out there, right? Like you said, the model works, and I agree with you because I spent a lot of time in tears and sleepless nights creating the model. But like, it's cool to see it actually come to fruition. But like in your mind, because I don't think what we're doing is revolutionary, right? It's kind of like curated strength and conditioning is what we're doing. What's unique about us, and why do you think it's been so successful, the model, compared to what else is out there right now?
So I think scalability, which is kind of one of those like terms that I feel like gets thrown around a lot without people understanding what it actually is the most important part of this. Because if I was to do all one-on-ones, there's no scalability for me. I'm going to cap out at some point unless I start charging like $500 per hour and getting a bunch of celebrities. And okay, sure, that's like a lot of money, but is that what I want to be doing all the time? Probably not, because then the value of what people are paying for might not be there. And so that there's a little bit of a dichotomy there. Going into like semi-private large group, I love those. Those kind of like fill me up because I get to help a broader spectrum of people. And then I don't have to maintain a one-on-one conversation. So it's a bit of a mental break. So with that being said, the model of like, my plate as a coach is filled up from nutrition clients to one-on-ones to semi-privates to large group in a very just fulfilling way, so that I have a very broad spectrum approach to how I treat fitness and how I treat clients and how I can improve people's quality of life in the fitness world. And so there's variety for us as coaches too, going back to that with like how workouts go. So there's not really a sense of boredom. It's all kind of the same method of like progressive overload, intensity, stimulus, but it's just different energy levels. And I think that's a big reason why it's working, is because there's not this sense of like stagnation, or that I have to only do one-on-ones or I have to only do large group. Because if we were doing only large group, and we've talked about this on previous podcasts, again, there's no scalability because the owner's probably doing the lion's share of classes, or if the owner's not, he has one coach that's doing all of them, and they're doing like the barbell shift.
Yeah.
So
what I'm hearing from like, and this makes total sense from a coaching perspective, you're like, there's just variety. There's opportunities to be challenged. Like I get to solve this really cool problem. But then there's also times where you're like, it's hard to be in that mode for like 5 hours straight. Like, it's nice to have a break of like, okay guys, not to say like we're not putting in the same amount of brain power into group, but you can imagine like being one-on-one with someone and focus for 60 straight minutes versus like, okay guys, like little bit looser, a little bit more relaxed. Like we don't have to be just so on all the time. I think it gives you a little bit of work-life balance, right? Yeah. That's the other big thing to your point is like when I was thinking about this model was like, there has to be this system of if Chris wants to take time off and reset and be with his family and do all these things, there has to be these things in place where people can fill in the gaps. Imagine if we were only doing one-on-one, dude. That basically would mean like if I had 4 full-time staff members who all had a full book of clients, that means all of Chris's clients are not training with us while he's taking vacation, or he can't take vacation, right? I can't pay Chris to take vacation, right? It just wouldn't be there. So I agree with you, and I think the thing that I think about too is everyone's talking about this concept of niching down. Like you got to niche, like all we do is semi-private personal training. All we do is large group training. All we do and that's fine. But I also think that to an extent, that mindset, it does a disservice to the client after a while, because are you honestly going to tell them that you need to cancel your membership and walk out my door right now because you no longer need me? Right?
No.
It's highly unlikely, but because we've built the business off of relationships and people and not the modality, we're able to have those honest conversations with them and say like, hey, I think you're ready for this next step because you've worked hard and you've followed the prescription and you did well. Like, I don't want to just keep charging you this amount of money for the rest of your life. How about you take a step into here and just see how you like it?
Yeah.
Not say you have to. Like some of my clients, all they want to do, I think of Carrie, I think of Stella, I think of those clients, like that's what they love doing. But I'm sure you've had clients where you've kind of graduated them into like the next, like what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's because I don't want to, and I'll say this as like least selfishly as possible. I don't want to like let clients go if I see a natural progression for them. And that's another part of our model that I really like, is that there's a next step for them. It's like, oh, I can't, the price is just a little bit high. I need a next step. And it's like, oh, well, we have a perfect next step for you to go to semi-private. And then if you're like, oh, well, the intensity is not exactly what I'm looking for. It's like, okay, well, semi-private, you have some large group stuff, but you're not like fully committed to that. So there's just a lot of good balance for our members where they're getting a ton of variety, but they're always following some sort of progressive overload or some sort of intensity stimulus. And there's another place for them to go. And if they end up being like, no, I want to now run marathons or ultras, it's like, okay, we have resources for that as well. So
we do, yeah.
And bless your heart for doing it, because like it's just a good, people need to explore different areas of fitness, and then they'll kind of I find myself coming back to this style of fitness all the time, where it's like go into another phase of life, try something out, come back. And that's what we want you to do as members.
I think GPP is always going to be people's home base. Like you'll go through these seasons where it's like, hey, like I'm going to train for this marathon. I'm going to train for this adventure race. I'm going to train for this DECA, whatever. But then after you're out of that season of life, you're like, how about we just do some strength and conditioning that's balanced? You know what I mean? Just keep me active.
Yeah. And that goes back like all the way to the beginning of the conversation, where the individual in the open access gym that has to be discipline minded. Sometimes it's just like being by yourself all the time training. It just gets it can be exhausting, or you can just get your plate filled, or fill your cup, whatever term you want to use there. And again, GPP's home base, you always have that opportunity to come back. It's always there.
Last question, and then I'll let you peg me with some questions. So if you were to, let's just say like you had the entire Oak Force community in here right now, and you had to pitch why we're coming to the market and how what we do is unique and how it would best serve them, what would you say that is? What would you say?
My gosh. 20-second elevator speech.
You're pretty good at this. So
that's a really tough one. All right, we got to get going. So I would just say that we have proven that people in our facilities are getting more fit. They're leading a very balanced lifestyle. Almost all of our members are parents or people in their 40s or older. And we have proven that people are getting stronger. They're experiencing more fulfillment in their lives. And nearly all of our members have at some point told me, I feel myself aging and I need to do this so that I can like stop that from happening. So if you're one of those people that are like, you have kids or you're getting a little bit older, you're our ideal person, our ideal client, even if you don't have kids. And I think that you should come give us a try.
It's kind of like people who still want to train strength and conditioning, but maybe we're kind of over the kipping and the heavy 1-rep maxes, and they're like, hey, like the risk and return just aren't there for me, but I still want to train.
Yeah.
Like,
We're doing foundational movements, move dynamically, and that's all you have to do. We're not flailing around on the bar, ripping our shoulders apart.
There's a time and place for that. I think what we've learned is it takes dedication to, I wish Christy was here because she'd be like, yes. Right? It takes dedication to learn how to do it properly, taking care of your body on the recovery side to be able to do those kind of things. It's like, I mean, Dustin would always joke. He's like, dude, since we got rid of kipping, like the amount of like ripped hands and torn rotator cuffs has gone. And it's not to say we don't want you guys to learn that. It's just we got to put you in an environment where it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, if you have a 50 rep pull-up workout and you don't know how to properly absorb the load and you're taking 2.5 extra body weight on your shoulders 50 times because you can't stay in an active scap pull, you're going to rip your rotator cuff and you're going to have a bad time.
Or your bicep.
Or your bicep, yeah.
All right. What questions you got for me?
All right.
Let Chris take over now.
I had to write these down. Okay.
Do you want to do a quick intro for Marcus, or like, hey, this is Chris.
I'm Chris Diamede, Lord of the Weights.
Yeah, Lord of the Weights. That's right.
All right. So location 2, what prompted you to want to expand to a second location?
Okay. So if you were to ask me 12 to 18 months ago, I would say, no, we're not doing this. The two things that motivated me were I finally hired an amazing team that implemented the vision I had, and just seeing the success that we had really quickly, it just reframed my mindset about what's possible. Because for a while, it's like you just don't know until you try, and you guys were the first ones to really implement it at full vision, right? Like, guys, like, this is what we're doing. And we've had a lot of success, so I'm like, okay, like, this could work in other markets. And then the other side of that was, because I hired a really good team of A players who want to go achieve stuff, there was this sense of guilt of I'm creating an artificial ceiling for these people if I'm not the one maybe pushing the boundaries a little bit of what we're capable of doing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to speak for my team, but I would say, like, you guys probably aren't inspired by, hey, Chris, your life is going to be the same for the rest of your career in District H. So for me, it's like, no, let's go, put our necks out there a little bit more and see what we can achieve as a team. And it's funny how confident I am about it because, I don't know, like, because you guys are so awesome, like, and you just execute so well. To me, it's like, well, if we do run into roadblocks, we'll just figure it out. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy how confident you can be when you have the right people in place. So that's what kind of, and plus, similar to you, maybe just coming from a different lens, like, I love this stuff. I want to impact as many lives as I can. Initially, all I thought was possible was our little nook in Houston Heights, but then now it's kind of like, oh, wow, we can actually go do more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's do it.
And Christy's doing the Lord's work on push press, so.
She is doing the Lord's work on push press. They should hire her pretty soon.
Yeah, they should. All right, so next question. What's your long-term vision for multiple facilities?
So it's a great question. So this is, there's going to be a balance of understanding tolerance for your concept in a specific market. I think F45 really were the first ones to test the limitations of boutique fitness. They were opening up like a Starbucks, right? Like just every street corner. And unfortunately, what that did was it put the franchisee, the owner, in a position where it's like the market's so saturated that no one's being successful, right? So there is a certain ceiling to what a concept can be successful in a certain marketplace. Based on what I think it is, I think we're going to land somewhere between like 4 and 5 locations. I think once we get there, there's enough opportunity for my entire team to have a great balance of coaching, leadership, creation, responsibility, all of that's there. Once we get to that point, we can have an honest conversation as a team to say, what else do we want to do, or are we all happy? Mm-hmm. And if we're all happy, I'm happy. If it's like, okay, we did 5 locations in Houston, do we want to go do it elsewhere? From what I'm seeing, I think the risk and return's not there yet. So for me, this isn't meant to be a national concept or anything like that. It's like, hey, like, it's going to be driven by my team. If I can continue to hire really good quality people that want to execute, like, sky's the limit, but I also understand the constraints of a certain model.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be very hard to operate some places in California. without some like very trusted people in place.
It would be very hard. And now all of a sudden it's just unnecessary stress for all of us to kind of figure that out as a team. Yeah.
And what's your short-term vision with the second location?
Yeah. So short-term vision, because my work I do with Lasso, I've gone through 26 studio pre-openings in the last 18. I've kind of led that charge for different concepts. I have a lot of good data on what it takes to be successful in a pre-open. So for me, opening up between like 125 to 150 members on day one. We're going to have 2 rooms in the Oak Forest location. So the PT semi-private will be its own ecosystem, and the small group, like 1-on-14, will be its own ecosystem. And the benefit of that is there's more availability. And now we are creating 2 different environments that are higher premium. It better conveys the price point that those people are paying with still respecting the, I would say almost like the sacredness of the small group training. Like that is meant to be its own experience. And it's hard to properly allow that to happen when you got a lot of other stuff going on. So segmenting it out kind of respects both sides of the house. Obviously build the team. It's a model of 4 people with a couple of floaters like you and Trevor, who are like my specialists to kind of take care of very specific things because of your skill set. And then kind of phase 2 of that location would be, we have about 500 square feet of unused space, and we're going to be turning that into a recovery lounge. So like sauna, cold plunge, really premium. It's meant to compete with like the sweat houses and the Soder sauna studios. And it's meant to be nice. And so that's kind of the next phase. The more we lean into holistic coaching, and we'll get into this in a different episode, looking at nutrition and health and stress and fitness and all of that, the recovery lounge is really just another part for us to provide solutions to people who need those modalities to help with their overall health. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And last question, one you asked me, what's your pitch for the Oak Forest people?
Yeah, so Oak Forest peeps. So my son goes to school in the neighborhood. I know a lot of the families in the neighborhood. What we want to do is, what I see in the Oak Forest market is you have your typical boutique fitness. You got your F45, Citizen Pilates. You got some CrossFit-esque type concepts. They've also started leaning a little bit more into the health and longevity side versus the absolute performance side. So my pitch to Oak Forest is, I know what a day in the life of your life looks like from a managing kids and responsibility, but also being challenged and wanting to be around a professional concept. These are professional people. Like I don't want to say they're high performers, but like a lot of people that I meet are like, yeah, like I don't think they take their life seriously, but like they want to perform well. And so I want to enter the market with a very polished concept where you're able to train athletically with progressive overload that meets you where you're at. And if you value working with professional people in a professional environment, we are for you. It's not meant to be silly. It's not meant to be like, we don't take ourselves crazy seriously, but at the same time, I believe in the profession of coaching. I think that's very sacred. So it's really for those people who value expert advice, want to know what to do, how to do it correctly, and still see progressive overload gains that you and I talked about that are limited in certain concepts that are out there right now. So while bringing a very neighborhood-friendly, authentic, relationship-driven business that's not driven by profit, but driven by people, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes that can get a little diluted in a very corporate structure that's out there. So that's it. Yeah.
That's a great answer. That's speaking from someone with a lot of experience living in the area, unlike me.
So cool. Yeah. So that's the second location. So